Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about something I think about rather often, which is it's incredible that any of us even exist. It's incredible that this universe exists in the first place. Like, there very well could have been nothing out there, nothing in existence. None of us would have been any wiser to it because we wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be around to even recognize that there was nothing in existence. There just would have been nothing at all out there. But that's not the case. Somehow all of this stuff exists, everything in the universe, and we're here to be a part of it, to experience all of it. That's crazy to me. And then knowing that, and this is what I spend a lot of time thinking about, we have created, well, not us, but our ancestors have created these ridiculous societies where we spend our whole lives slaving away for companies we don't care about to make their owners incredibly wealthy, and then to make governments wealthy through taxes, and then at the end of the day, bankers and other incredibly powerful people who are pulling all the strings, very wealthy and powerful. And it makes like no sense, right? Like, when you really think about it, why do these systems exist the way that they are? I'm not advocating for communism or anything crazy like that. I'm not like anti-capitalist or anything. I'm just saying, like, it's weird the way we've set up these societies in the way that they are. I don't have solutions here. I'm just remarking on the fact that it makes little to no sense when you think about how special it is that any of us are here. And yet we're basically meant to slave away our entire existence. And for what? Like, to make all this money to support ourselves, to then end up on our deathbeds and regret all of it because we realize how special it was that we were even here in the first place, but we didn't do anything we wanted to because we spent our whole lives working. It's ludicrous. Now, I'm not making this video to like make any of you guys depressed, right? Because like, thinking about these things, I'm sure many of us have at some point. It's not a great feeling because we feel powerless, we feel helpless, like we can't do anything here. And that makes sense because we are basically small fish for the most part. Like, the big fish out there, the bankers and other incredibly powerful people who are pulling all the strings, are even more powerful than governments. They're untouchable for the most part. Like, especially because I imagine a lot of them aren't even known by like the public. They probably have ways to keep their identities secret and whatnot because they just have that much power and control over things. So there really isn't all that much we can do. But we shouldn't focus on trying to like overthrow these morons who've made life not so great for all of us. The reason I'm making this video is to talk about the ways that you can reclaim power over your own life so that you don't have to spend all of it slaving away for companies you don't care about, so that you can instead do things that you actually want to do to make the most of your time here, because this is a special opportunity and I don't want to waste it myself, and I don't want any of you to waste it either. If I can help you in some way not be a slave for these economic systems your entire life, then I'm going to do what I can to help that. And I'm not saying I'm literally promising financial help for any of you guys. If you reach out to me for money, you're not going to get anything. Sorry, I don't have enough money to do that. And even if I did, I don't know if it would be something I'd want to do, because that sounds like enabling people to just be lazy and whatnot, when I'd want everyone to find their own path through life, create their own way, their own journey. Because if you just get free handouts, it's not exactly going to help you create a meaningful life for yourself. We've often seen what the kids of rich people end up like, and it's not great. And that's what free handouts does to you. So yeah, but what I can offer you is not only mindset help, but also just some advice for what you can do to get through life so that money isn't this thing that controls you anymore. So the first thing you're going to want to do, of course, is figure out what the hell you want to do with your life, because it's insane all of us are here, right? So knowing that, what do you want to do? Do you want to explore the world? Do you want to travel? What is your goal to make the most of this experience? Do you want to have children at some point, start a family? What are your goals? You need to figure that out first and foremost, because then you can use money to achieve those goals. But if you don't know what the hell you want, then no amount of money is going to help you, because you're lost. You don't know where you're going in life. So you need to have direction first and foremost. I can tell you right now, what I want in life is to have beautiful experiences, to go out there and see beautiful places in the world, like as many national parks, and visit countries that are beautiful, like Italy and Iceland and places like that. I want to go out there and see the beauty that this planet has to offer, because we can't exactly go to other ones just yet. Like we're too early in humanity's existence to go explore Mars or like go visit Saturn and things like that. So I want to explore this planet because that's about all I can do for now. And I also want to have a family at some point as well. So that's another thing. But knowing that, it gives me something to work towards. Now, a lot of people believe that you need to be rich to accomplish goals like that, especially traveling, right? Like we all know you need money to travel. But there are ways where you can make money work for you so that you don't have to constantly be working all the time to make money so you can then travel. So one thing that's incredibly helpful that many people suck at is budgeting. It's not a fun or sexy term, but it's something that you really ought to get good at if you don't want to be a slave to money and spending your whole life working all the time. Create budgets and strive not to go over them. Find ways to manage money in healthy ways so you're not constantly buying things you don't need to impress people you don't care about, or even just because you're constantly giving in to your impulses. Create a budget, don't go over it, and don't buy things that you don't need. I mean, a great example of this would be like with clothes. A lot of people will impulse buy clothes. They see something that looks nice or whatever, so like, I need to have that. But do you really? There's a book I read a while back, I forget what it was called, but it basically introduced this concept of like needs versus wants. And quite often people confuse the two, because obviously a need is something you literally need to support yourself. That would be like food and shelter and that sort of thing. But a want is something you don't need, you just desire it, but if you don't get it, your life will be fine and you're not going to die tomorrow over it. So that would be like wanting new clothes or wanting some fancy new car or whatever it may be. You need to figure out what's a want and a need, and then don't lie to yourself when something is actually a want and tell yourself you don't need it. You'll be fine. Life will go on if you don't have it. Like it's not something that you absolutely need. And over time, when you get better at budgeting, you can add some budget for certain wants that you desire. And then it won't break the bank and make it so you have to work like 3 weeks to recover the loss because you spent all that money on something you didn't actually need. So budgeting is an incredibly powerful tool. Now another one is investing. That's making your money work for you so you're not constantly working for it. The great thing there is looking into IRAs, especially Roth IRAs for people who are young. Like you can open up a Roth IRA. I think you're only allowed to put in around like 6,000, maybe it's like 6,500 now. I don't know. Congress keeps voting to like up the limit for the people in the US. So I'm not exactly sure where it's at, but get an IRA as soon as possible. I want to say, I don't even know if there's an age limit for when you can open one. There may not be. So like do it ASAP, right away, really. I opened an IRA, I think when I was 25 or so. I wish I'd done it even sooner. And then make sure you find ways to invest the maximum allotment every single year, which like I said is around, I think 6,500 a year. That's the max you can put in. Doesn't sound like much, but if you invest that and you do it every year until you're like 50 or even older, it becomes a lot of money because of the compound interest you get. So a great thing to do here. Investing isn't super complicated. A lot of people get kind of scared about it because it seems so insanely intricate, but it really isn't. And there are plenty of videos you can watch online to learn about the topics anyway. But one of the safest routes you can go is just investing in like the S&P 500. Literally the entire stock market because they update it every year with all the companies that are in it. So you're basically betting on the market. So as long as the market doesn't fail, you're probably going to make money if you invest in the S&P 500. So invest in index funds and other things like that, where you're basically investing in like hundreds of companies at once. So you're not going to be destroyed if any of them happen to go under. That's a very smart route. It's like investing in the economy of the entire world. So as long as the economy doesn't fall into the gutter, you're good. And even if it does fall into the gutter, just hold on to your stocks. Do not sell them. You're not going to lose any money even if your stocks go down in price. Like you only realize a loss when you sell the stock. If you just hold on to it and never sell, you didn't lose any money. Even if it goes down to zero, okay, well that would be a bit different. If it goes down to like $1 from like $100, let's say, theoretically you lost $99 on every share, but if you don't sell it, you haven't lost anything yet. So then you could wait like another decade, maybe it goes up to $200. Now you just made $100 on every share because you didn't sell it when it dropped down to 1. So there you go. Like, that's investing in a nutshell. It's just being patient, being smart with your money, investing in index funds and other things like that, where you're investing in tons of companies at once, which is the safe route to go. You're almost always going to make money doing that. And then you just let your money sit there. You don't touch it. And over time, it grows. And just keep adding more and more money into your investments, and you can make a ton over time. It is a patient thing. This isn't like a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's a way to make money work for you so that when you do eventually get older, you can do things that you want to do. Now, of course, that isn't like the best thought for many people, having to wait until they're older to do what they want, but it can be really tricky to do the things you want to do in the here and now while you're young and probably aren't making a whole lot of money. But if you can master budgeting and investing in smart ways, and maybe even having multiple sources of income, which is a tricky thing to do, you do need to be more entrepreneurial minded for that to work. But you could try getting like a remote job and then doing side gigs all the time, freelancing, things like that, to just have other ways of making money. If you can master those things, you can start doing the things you want to do in the here and now. But it often will require living below your means, not having an apartment to yourself that's very expensive, having roommates so that you can have a lower rent payment and things like that, not buying fancy cars to show off to people you don't even care about, things like that, not constantly buying all these things you don't need. If you live below your means, it will allow you to save enough money to then redirect that money on the things that you actually want to do, like traveling or whatever else it may be. So that's pretty much what you want to do. You want to get a better mindset surrounding money. You want to be able to manage money really well. I would highly suggest looking into books on that, looking into videos and other things like that, so you can learn budgeting, investing, living below your means, and just having a better relationship to your money, because that really is the key at the end of the day to having freedom in your life. It's all money. We know that, right? But a lot of people suck with money. They're just horrible with money. And that's why they're a slave to it, because they have no discipline, no self-control when it comes to their use of money. So if you want to have the freedom to do the things you want to do now rather than later, or even later in life, you need to manage money well. So that's your goal. That's what you should be working towards, because then you can make the most of your time being here and not constantly be a slave to these companies you don't care about and other things like that. And yeah, at the end of the day, you kind of do need money to do most things in life. I mean, there is one alternative path you can take here, which would be getting enough money to buy a farm or something like that, where you could be self-sufficient. But even that requires money, unless you're lucky enough to be born into a family that already owns a farm and owns land. So yeah, most things in life require money. You are probably going to have to work to some extent in your life to be able to support yourself. But if the farm route is something that is attractive to you, you won't really be able to travel well on that one, but at least you will be able to live away from the system. I mean, I wager you'd still have property tax and whatnot, so you're still going to need some form of income stream to manage that, but at least you're not going to have a lot of other things that people have to pay for. So there are ways to do the things you want to do, but you need to figure out what the hell you want to do first, and then just become really good at managing money to achieve your goals. So it's pretty much all there is to it. But yeah, it's don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about how weird these systems are, because you'll just boggle your mind, and there's no real answer to any of it. It is weird the way we humans live. It really is. But oh well, we have to work within these systems that have been set up our ancestors, because good luck trying to escape them. There are maybe some ways, like going off grid, but again, you need money to do that. So figure out the path that works best for you, and then live your life and hopefully make the most of it, because you just don't want to waste this experience. It's special that all of these things exist, and it's incredibly special on top of it that we're here to experience this short while of being a human being on this beautiful planet Earth. But that's all I have for you guys. Truly hope you enjoyed this video. And definitely leave other tips and whatnot in the comments below, because there was a lot I went over here, and I'm sure I forgot things because I was going stream of consciousness without a script. So share your advice down below for people to be able to take control of their lives and have the freedom that they desire. But truly hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!